Howdy folks, today we have this SG and we're just carving out the nut slot because, sorry, excuse my fingers, I'm doing this handheld and I'm holding the phone upside down. I've been at this for about an hour carefully cleaning out this nut slot because you can see this goo. Someone's had a go at this. And the problem with cleaning this goo out is it's not brittle, it's rubbery. As you can see, I've finished the top part here. Now I'm just getting rid of all this crap down here, so the whole thing will be cleaned out. And you know, you'd think this would be easy to clean out, but it's not. Because it's soft, the problem is it's just like chewing gum. It's just sticking to everything. If it was brittle, then you know, you just chip it out. But I'm being very careful with a nice sharp chisel, a little bit rusty, but it is sharp. And just slowly peeling off. I don't want to take any wood off for a number of reasons. One, this is a Gibson, so the neck is extremely thin already. You can already see here the different color in wood. Well, that piece there, right underneath that is the truss rod. So you have very little meat to begin with. So you want to avoid taking any wood off at all. If you want to lower the nut, if you want to lower the action at the first fret, then you carve out the nut slots using a string slot file or something like that. Anyway, I'm going to put the camera down and go to the next step, which is finishing this off, and see how we go. Stay tuned. And this is what a cleaned out nut slot looks like. So nice and flat. I've run the chisel through it. Everything's nice and clean again. I am not going to bother cleaning off the glue residue here because that's going to affect the finish, and then I have to polish this. I'll let the customer deal with that. For now, I just need to put the new nut in there. There's going to be one little drop of super glue right in the middle as opposed to the whole thing covered in glue. So here we have the tusk nut that's going to go in. It is a tiny bit wider, about 1 millimeter wider than the neck. So I'm going to make this side sit flush with the neck. I'll get that in position. Look, I'm going to be moving it in and out anyway before I super glue it in. But doing this one-handed while holding a camera. Okay, so something like that. Okay, still need some adjustment there. You can see the neck just protruding outside of the nut. So we'll adjust that and sort that out before we super glue it. But if we look at this side here, and you can probably see it better if I come around this way. It's sticking out a lot more. Let's get up the top here and have a look. There we go. You can actually see it's sticking out about 1 millimeter. So what I'm going to do is measure the distance from the end of the edge of the fingerboard to the first string, and measure the distance between the edge of the fingerboard on this side to the 6th string. Ideally, you want it to be as even as possible. So I'll get the vernier calipers out and measure that, and then this will be placed in the correct position. The nut will be placed in the correct position with super glue. And if it sticks out a bit on this side, then it has to be filed down. And if it sticks out a bit on this side, it has to be filed down. We'll figure that out as we go. And then we'll put the strings in, tune it up to pitch, and see what the action at the first fret is going to be like. Now, we don't want it to be as low as you can go because, one, this nut will wear out over time and the strings will naturally go lower in action. Two, the action here gets affected by the action up at the other end of the guitar. So if we go too low here, and then we adjust the action up at the bridge, you're going to have the strings hitting the deck anyway. So you have to be really careful. So first thing I'm going to do, once I get this in place, put the strings on, get the action set over there in the blurry bridge over there, come back over here, and then set the action to a suitable level here. Okay, and it's a back and forth process. It's a balancing act. But the first thing I'll have to do before anything else is put a capo on the first fret, measure up here at the 15th, 17th fret, push the strings down, I should say, and measure somewhere in the middle, around the 9th, 10th fret, and measure the action there, because that will help me determine what the string relief will be, and that can be adjusted by the truss rod. So I've kind of set everything backwards here, but basically the first thing that's going to happen is this will be glued in place, the strings will be put on, tensioned up, then I'll adjust the truss rod, then I'll adjust the action at the bridge, then here, back and forth until this is at a height that I really like and I'm happy with. And then after that we'll set the guitar up, do a final setup, and play the instrument, see how we go. You can also see the fingerboard is dirty. See these little lines here? These little... Well, that's where the strings lie, in the dark spots, and the light spots is where your fingers rubbed. Well, guess what? That's all dirty residue. So all of these frets are going to get a polish. You can actually see, if I can get close up on these frets and focus at the same time, you can kind of see there's these little tiny marks where the strings go. Well, that's wear. So these frets are slightly worn out as well. In the meantime, new nut, completely carved. Don't forget to subscribe, blah, blah, blah. I'm not finished yet, so I'm just reminding you to subscribe. Hit that button down below. It helps me out a lot. Increases the popularity of this very meager and new channel. So, all the best.